Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 143rd One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I'll be joined with Doug and Mark as other hosts today for this workshop. And we are honored to have the Universal Council, as usual, will be delivering this workshop. So I hand over the floor to the Universal Council.
Good morning. This is Azar Yusuf Parsi, and this is Tuesday platform is a platform for One Planet, One Nation, One Race, where all the languages from all around this planet come in to speak about the way we can transit from the state we are here on this planet to the place that we create one planet, one nation, one race. And this is a place that each of us, each person, anybody likes can come in and bring what are the societies they live in, what they're dealing with, and what are they encountering in the society in terms of reaching to the point that we create that environment. What are the challenges? What are the solutions? What they have achieved, and this is the place. So I'm going to read what is on the screen that all you can see. One planet, one nation, one race for world peace. Through the beauty of the soul of diversity of the languages spoken on planet Earth, all souls are equal and all are as creators, as they are created in the image of the Creator. And today, what we have the privilege of having Ton, who's from Vietnam, and he's been in Vietnam for the past 4 years. And actually, he is the one that I understood the plasma through him. He was my teacher when I started with Keshe Foundation. He helped me a lot. And he has a beautiful, beautiful presentation, which is very extensive. And so we're going to allow him to come every Tuesday, because if he wants to go through the whole presentation, it might take about 6-7 hours, because as I said, it's a beautiful presentation. Ton can decide if you can please go for half an hour this today, so people can, or whatever you decide to do, people can, after that, can come and ask questions about the beautiful job you've done in Vietnam. And then every week he can come in and continue with the rest until we finish. Maybe we go to 4 weeks or 5 weeks. Let's see what happens. Ton, so you can start if you want, please.
Okay, thank you. I will probably do half an hour.
That's great.
Yesterday, we had a knowledge exchange with Farsi and KF Vietnamese. This was my presentation, and it's pretty long, so I'm gonna cut it down to half an hour and share the first part of it. The presentation was to demonstrate and shows how to use Keshe plasma technology to build an infrastructure for 5D living and embodiment through agriculture and animal husbandry, along with detoxing, cleaning the environment, land. Intention. KF Vietnamese shares knowledge for those at the stage of development, ready to take actions to make a difference in their life. We unconditionally share information for people to decide whether it is appropriate for them at that time of encounter and value it according to their level of understanding. It is each person's responsibility to determine the validity and value of the data shared. We are not here to convince people. We are here to provide people with the tools and opportunity to take another path in life. This is going to be table of content of what I will be discussing in this presentation about KF Vietnamese, roles and responsibilities, management and structure, projects, implementation, Vietnamese public teaching. About KF Vietnamese. Initially, we had 3 founding members consisting of Wayne Nguyen, Mary Vu, and Thần Jung. That is me. Mary Wu was a former EC member representing North America. Wayne Nguyen was a UC rep for Vietnamese. I am the backup UC rep for Vietnamese. After the first year, the other 2 members gone MIA without notice. For the past 3 years, I managed the KF Vietnamese Facebook group, KF Vietnamese YouTube channel, website, and public teachings. This is me. I currently reside in Vietnam. Roles and responsibilities. Hold space for humanity to learn, grow, and evolve. Founding members need to achieve mastery or self-mastery and balance. Teach and live by the law of one. Share KF plasma technology. Raise people's awareness to UC, EC, and KF goal of one planet, one nation, one race. Create positive thought forms to group intention to direct humanity's path. Send the energy of love, peace, balance, and joy to all living things in the world. Management and structure. Establish KF Vietnamese Facebook group, YouTube channel, website, and public teaching as sharing platforms. Transparency of operation through recorded public seminars and workshops made available through Facebook group and YouTube channel. Assist and collaborate with businesses and organizations to teach and share KF plasma technology. Create infrastructure to assist local communities. Build connections and relationships to unconditional giving, thus opening the door to apply and share what we know about KF plasma. Projects. If we change the environment in Vietnam, the people will change accordingly as we elevate their souls to plasma fields. If we clean the environment of negative energy and chemical toxins, then the people have a clear path to the soul. Through plasma culture, the physicality and emotion are elevated and brought back to balance with zinc and CO2 gas. Through KF plasma products, people are further restored back to balance and better health. With this mindset, objective, and understanding, I set out to achieve the following implementations. KF Vietnamese Facebook group, YouTube, website, Vietnamese public teaching as one unit. KF Vietnamese Center shares KF plasma technology and implements the technology through its own plasma culture plot and business. Vietnamese public teaching videos include an energy transmission of love, peace, balance, joy, violet flame, my heart current, and golden silver one. Southeast Asia sphere of peace with 9,000 kilometer radius. 444 KF Vietnamese Wi-Fi Magravs to clear the environment of negative energy and assist to bring balance back to all life forms. KF Vietnamese Facebook group, YouTube, website, and public teaching. Facebook group is set up as a community learning center where I and other members share our perspective and experiences. There are units set up for people to learn the basic of KF plasma technology. YouTube channel contains a collection of excerpts from the Knowledge Seekers workshops and the KF Vietnamese public teachings. The website contains lots of useful information and sharing, but is offline at the moment due to lack of capital to maintain it. Vietnamese public teachings summarize key points in the weekly Knowledge Seekers workshop from my own interpretation and level of understanding. This is our Facebook group. We have currently about 1,300 something 50 members close to 1,400. Website, YouTube channels. Thanks to Farsi members, we have over 2,500 members. Plasma Culture Plot. Act as a model and learning center for Keshe Plasma Technology and KNF. KNF stands for Korean Natural Farming. Operate as a go-to location for kids from schools and universities to experience organic farming, as well as those from local communities. Use as a location to experiment and to validate theories. Integrate with KNF Jadam as a bridge gap learning tool to work in harmony with Mother Nature at a very low cost. Provide a foundation for which natural farming develops and grows to replace conventional farming practice. Support the community and farmers to implement natural farming. The slogan for KF Vietnamese is, "Be the change you want to manifest." Vietnamese are realistic and pragmatic. For Keshe Plasma Technology to be understood and accepted by the people, it must be able to be used by the average person with basic comprehension of the technology in daily living. It has to be able to address the needs of the farmers, especially in pest control. Otherwise, the farmers would not use a technology that is not able to help them provide an income to support their families through farming at a reasonable cost. KNF Jadam has the foundation and support to assist people in farming as a viable business at a very low cost. It teaches people to work in harmony with Mother Nature and make best use of the local resources available. Keshe Plasma Technology will piggyback on KNF, which acts as a stepping stone in learning, as an additional support tool for the farmers. We all know Keshe Plasma Technology is amazing, but not all of us are at the same level of understanding and experience to successfully implement the technology in practical application in daily living. Until we are adept and knowledgeable, we will use KNF Jadam to assist through the transition and learning period. This is Jadam Organic Farming and Korean Natural Farming. Korean Natural Farming is created by Master Cho, and his son created Jadam, which is a very low-cost way of farming, organic farming with the available resources we have available locally. And they are a non-profit organization. They have the structure to support farmers for free. And one of the main goals is to put farming back into the hands of farmers and put Monsanto out of business. We're going to take a tour of the property, what it looked like initially and what it looks like now. It looks like a little jungle, but this is what it looks like initially. You can't really see anything. This is after the initial clearing. This is the overview about half a year later, after we made some clearing of all this stuff and cutting the grass and the weed to a level where it's easier to manage. It's about 4,000 square meters. This is the front of the property, a small garden. This is recent photos of the changes we have made. These are sugar canes, lemongrass, ginger, papaya, a lot of other things we're going along the thing. This is guava, jackfruit, sapote. As you see throughout the property, we have a lot of chickens. They are just free range, happy and satisfied. more chickens in the back roaming around. In Vietnam, people hate grass like no tomorrow. Herbicide is very, very common to eliminate, to eradicate. American made a waste of a time Agent Orange down there. They don't need, the Vietnamese people can do it for them for free. This is the clip of the property in the front 6 months ago. We're going to see the changes of the property as it goes from experiencing 1 year under the effect of GANs technology, how things are greener, the grass is healthier, things are more vibrant. Initially, the soil, as you can see, there's not that much grass, sandy, rocky, lots and lots of trash. This is the back of the property.
Đây là
We
thực
have
phẩm gừng
grapefruits,
trong giai đoạn ban
jackfruits,
đầu.
the tea plants over here that got chopped way too short. When we move into this property, the jackfruits was not producing that much, but after we apply GANs technology, they start producing tons of jackfruits.
Ở đây là 4.000 mét vuông. Mình đang áp dụng công nghệ Keshe Plasma để làm vườn thiên nhiên. Đây.
Okay, plasma garden purpose. We had a small garden in front of the house. Validate and or invalidate the effect of GANs technology on plants. Used as a learning tool to observe the effect of GANs technology on plants, the environment, and the people, animal around it. Allow for the testing of different GANs and its effect. Show whether basic use of liquid plasma can reduce and or eliminate pests. Demonstrate the effectiveness of GANs technology on plants' disease. Plasma garden lessons. GANs technology reverse and or reduce the effect of GMO on seeds. Basically, it's impossible to grow GMO when we use GANs technology. The effect of GANs on pests are not all negative, making them more robust, while at the same time reduce the pests on plants like corn, eggplant, okra, and beans. Plants are more tolerant to extreme weather condition and environment. The life cycle of the plants is extended by several months. Poor soil condition and environment only slow the growth of the plant to a certain point where then it starts to develop exponentially. The flavor and taste of the plants are enhanced. This is the garden initially. As you can see, the soil is very dry, rocky, sandy. It does not hold water very well. people was amazed how I grew water spinach around this water tank. Basically, just sand down the bottom. I threw the seeds right on top and put the straws on top of the seed. People think that's not how you're supposed to grow morning glory, but it came out, as you can see, very fine and healthy. These cauliflowers plants got very, very big, but it was in the wrong environment. Our eggplants got very decent size. It produces lots of eggplants, and you can easily go 6 months and it's keep producing and producing and producing. These guys, if you trim them down, they'll come back up again. This what I was explaining earlier about GMO. When we soak the seed in CO2, it reverses the process. Like trying to plant F1, F2, F3, or any genetically modified, it's going to be a surprise because I planted baby cucumbers and it came out 24 inches or 24 centimeters. I was unsure if I bought the right seed or something happened during the process, because this was the second time where, so when I was looking for what happened to my baby cucumber. Over 1 kilo for a baby cucumber. Chicken quail coop demonstrates the effectiveness of GAN's technology and KF genome method in business application is a practical and competitive technology for farming at a very low cost. Change how animals are raised in a humane and ethical manner with the interests of the animals' physical, emotional, and mental well-being at heart, rather than just focus on profit margin. Educates people on to reduce the consumption of natural resources and also to reduce waste output into the environment. So shows the integration of food forest agriculture, animal husbandry, land management, and environmental restoration in a synergistic effect. Animal husbandry. I raise the animals in a carefree, minimum stress environment where the property and shelter not their prison. They are free to enter and leave the shelter at any time. I prefer to raise the chickens through the natural incubation of the eggs through the hens rather than through a machine. The baby chicks will receive the Magrav feel love and care from the mother. They will feel love and nurture during the first few weeks of their life as the mother guides the baby chicks through the basic survival of life. As in the movie Avatar, people need to learn to respect the animals and be grateful for them for providing us with the nourishment until the time we can repair our blueprint and tap into universal energy for support. Food forest. The animals are raised in a system where the plants, trees, animals, insects, microorganisms, human, and land work together to achieve a balanced ecosystem with the initial support of KF genome and GAN's technology to expedite the process. The chickens, quails, and ducks will act as pest management. The goats and geese will manage the land to maintain grass level and suppression of weeds. The waste of the animals will provide the plants and trees with fertilizer. Periodic cutting of the weed and grass will provide the biomass to keep the soil moist and support the indigenous microorganism population. The IMO will also thrive on the manure of the animals, thus increase the productivity of the IMO in making the land more fertile and softer. Waste management. I ferment the brown rice. Later, I will include banana stalks and sprout the corn and rice to feed the chickens. I also feed the food waste to the chickens. The waste of the chickens I feed to black soldier fly. The waste of black soldier fly I feed to the worms. The waste of the worms I feed back to the chickens and plants. The larvae of the black soldier fly and the worms I feed to the chickens, quails, and fish. I also raise crickets to release around the property into man-made habitats, shelters, providing protection from the quails and chickens. The crickets are the additional protein for the animals on the property at a very low cost because the crickets feed on the grass and leaves of the cassava plant on the property. This is the 4 levels of waste management to explain how we can efficiently use the resources available, but most of the time we are using it incorrectly and not optimizing it. This model was given by Paul Olivier. This is the chicken quail coop still under construction. I use the bamboos from the property. I put the, what do you call this? The hen house where they lay the eggs at the wrong location. It's better to put it in the back where it has less sunlight. In here in the morning, there's a lot of sunlight and it's not a really good location because they like dark place to lay the eggs. I have to add some more cover to provide a darker place for them. As you can see, we have baby chicks roaming around the property. Yeah, they'll be laying eggs. It's still not complete. I just have to put a railing and some hay in here, or straw. This is the chicken coop for the baby chicks. Yeah, we had an incident with the Newcastle virus, which took out most of the baby chicks, but it also confirmed something about the immune system and the environment. Even though the baby chicks got almost wiped out, but the older chicks nearby, the ducks, the quails, and the older chickens, they are intermingled with the baby chicks, but they are immune for it because they have a more developed immune system because they are emotionally and physically balanced. They have been in the plasma environment a longer time. These newer chicks just arrived. They would not be in this circumstance if I did not make a newbie mistake of feeding them banana way too early before that their digestive system was developed. I think that expedited the problem, made it a lot worse. So in the next batch, we're gonna try it again to see if that was the case. They don't feed baby chicks fruits before they are like 1 month. So the hen went into my room and laid the egg right here. This is our first batch of Keshe plasma eggs. We are, even though I said we rather have the hen incubate, but the problem we have right now are the hens are not incubating the eggs. I don't know, maybe because we have a really hot rooster that drive the hens crazy. So they lay normally around 16 eggs before they start incubating, but right now, at least I think we lost count, I think about 30 or 40 something eggs already, and they're still not incubating. This is where my work supply, where I use to add a combination of Korean natural farming and PM technology into the solution for the animal, for drinking and for food, for fermenting. I use zinc, CO2, calcium, sea gans, vinegar, ginger, pepper, garlic. Those are tincture in hard liquor, about 30-ish proof to prevent, to get the medicinal value out of it. Right now, when people think of Vietnam, they think it being tropical, but in the winter in Vietnam, it could get down to 10 degrees. It can get down to pretty cold. Here, fermenting rice, when through fermenting, it increased the nutritional value. Not only that, the fermenting process will help eliminate the chemical, the toxin, because the bacteria and the local IMO will transmute that thing. Plus, when we have mixed with CO2, it will help to with the GMO, because to get organic supply in Vietnam is impossible. All the supply will be GMO and chemicals and fertilizer. So by fermenting and soak it in CO2, we reverse the process of GMO and help eradicate the chemical and toxin through the activity of the IMO for the bacteria and fungus. At the same time, reduce the cost because the animal get more nutritional value out of it and they'll be eating less. We sprout the rice, the bean, and the corn. Here, fermenting the rice through the dry method. Moist, well, not dry, but it's still slightly wet. Quail food. Here is, in Korean natural farming, we have to get the IMO from the local surrounding, especially in the mountains. But I did not able to get a decent supply, so I used the EM, which is from Japan, but this is not the true EM. This is the knockoff, the fake version of it from Vietnam. Here we have salt solution I used for making yams, but I have not made yams in a while. And I added the salt solution to the drinking water and to the seeds when I soaked them to add nutritional value. Here's my collection of vinegar and medicine. OHN is basically medicine for plants and animals. I use this to water the tea plants as well as to feed the animals. And we can also consume this when we're not feeling well. So the theory behind Korean natural farming is, if it's good for the animal, it should be good enough for us. I made my own vinegar from the banana plants and stalk. This is a short clip on what we use in Korean natural farming to make calcium. Basically, you have to roast the eggs, then soak it in vinegar, then dilute it from 1 to 500 ratio to water the plants during the fruiting stage. This will replace the NPK fake theory about that stuff. So that theory is basically fake. If you look into Jadam, they was explaining more detail about the fake theory created by those agriculture monopoly. Basically, when the trees are fruiting, we can use this to water the tree and the fruits will come out a lot more and better tasting. When they're in the flowering stage, we can use the bones of pork and beef instead because it has phosphate in it. And Korean natural farmers are not aware of GANS technology. So this solution, we can add caustic to it to turn it into calcium GANS at the same time. And we don't have to wash the thing. We can just, because we are diluting at a very diluted at 1 to 500, and we can water to the plant directly. This are our chickens. They're happy. Our jackfruits. Very healthy, active. They will relax, happy. This is what happened when he ate too many papaya. These are our quails. They grow very, very fast. They are right next to the area where the baby chicks are infected with the Newcastle virus, but they are living nice and healthy and fine. We got them on November 1st. Now they almost triple in size. The life cycle of the quails are very quick. Around 2 months, they start producing and laying eggs. And they eat a lot. That's just me feeding the chicks. They are very active. They are infected by Newcastle, as you can see. They intermingle with the bigger chicks. They're still active, alive, and the bigger chicks, because they've been in the plasma environment a lot longer. Their immune system is a lot stronger. They are not affected by it.
Bạn này mới đến này.
I'm feeding them fish because the fish we had has really strong odor, so we feed it to the chickens.
Nó bự rồi. Cho mẹ ăn đi. Nè.
Ducks and rice. The rice is grown with the ducks to provide pest management and fertilizer to the rice plant. In growing our own rice to feed the family and the animals, we ensure its quality and to reduce the cost of animal husbandry. By being self-sufficient, we also eliminate the need for middlemen and dependency on corporate agriculture giants to provide us with GMO products and pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, and all the other chemicals. By being self-sufficient, we take back our pride and humility as a human being. By growing our own rice, we show others another path to take in growing better quality food at a lower cost without polluting the environment and poisoning ourselves with unnecessary chemicals. By growing our own rice, we are able to provide humanity with a healthier way to live. By growing our own rice, we have another cash plasma product to offer to humanity. This is our rice field in front of the property. We rented from a couple. Our neighbor to the left, they use herbicide like no tomorrow. We got hit like twice with herbicide from, as you can see, this driveway, they sprayed the whole entire thing. I told them, stop, don't spray that thing. I'll clear the thing out and to the driveway for them. So to prevent them from spraying the herbicide, and not only you can smell it a mile away, but it made the rice plant really weak. But because it affected plasma technology of CO2, it turned out to be not that bad. It just took a little yellowing, but it's still healthy. Because when we soak the rice in CO2, it will reverse any GMO stuff. That means it's not as resistant to pesticide or herbicide like normal rice would be. Because when people spray pesticide on the rice or herbicide, the rice would survive fine because they are modified. But if the rice is not modified, if the thing is just basically natural, they're gonna die. But our rice survive. These are our ducks. The rice paddies are filled with snails, and a lot of people use chemical fertilizer to kill the snails, but you can take care of that with the ducks. The ducks can just eradicate those things and not enough to feed. We have like 12 ducks in front of our property, and there is not enough snails to feed them. For me, that was free food and cost saving. They eat too much. These 12 ducks eat more than 100 chickens. We move them to the back of the property for them to be safe and not stolen or killed by our neighbors have several dogs, and they like duck meat. This is the baby ducks or ducklings that we just received recently. They are very vibrant, alive, healthy, not shy or timid. They follow me around the property everywhere like I'm the mother duck. Okay, we wrap it up right here with this. Keshe Plasma Black Garlic. I invite everyone to taste black garlic with the frequency of peace, love, and balance, along with the energy of CO2, zinc, and iodine to balance the physicality, emotion, and the soul. This shows an alternative way of applying Keshe plasma technology to a product by using fuel plasma instead of liquid plasma. I created a Wi-Fi Magrav unit to plasmify an area with its energy during the drying process of making black garlic. Since black garlic is a nano product, it is able to better absorb and hold any energy coming from the environment. During the steaming process, I also added GANS balls in the steam room to saturate the area with Keshe plasma energy. The container of water used for steaming black garlic contained a 2 milliliter glass bottle of zinc CO2 GANS. A batch of sour black garlic not fermented right became sweet during a 4 to 6 months time period of being in a Keshe plasma environment. This shows that the energy of Keshe plasma, fuel plasma, can raise or lower the pH of the environment. In this case, it's raised the pH up to a point where the black garlic becomes sweet. And initially it was sour, but after like 6 months, it became very sweet. This is black garlic, just in case people have not heard of it. I have not heard of it until I did this experiment. They taste like candy, very sweet. Here's my Wi-Fi unit. DDX Organic Tea Farm. We're gonna leave it for next time, the tea farm.
If anybody has any question, you can raise your hand and ask question.
I have a question. I was wondering about the Wi-Fi unit. He calls it a Wi-Fi Magrav, I think. Could you explain what that is?
Yes, but in this instance, I have the Wi-Fi Magrav of love, which I actually put GANs in it, different type of GANs to create a flow of energy. But this version of Wi-Fi Magrav, I put the energy of love, peace, balance, and violet flame in it through the power of intention.
Ton, does it have any GANs in it?
No.
How does it look like? I mean, close up.
It's a ping pong ball that, put in a star formation.
And it's empty.
Empty. Well, it's not empty, but it looks empty. It has the energy in it, but we can't see it.
Okay, thank you.
If people are familiar with energy, we can direct and control energy. We can send it directly to people, or we can put it in an object. In this case, I put it inside the ball, so it has some kind of tangibility, so people can actually see.
So you put it like in a tennis balls, so people can see the physicality of where you put the energy. But you could have done it even without the physicality of the ball.
Correct. You could put it in anything. I just chose the ping pong ball because it's easier to manage.
There's a question in the chat. Can you make calcium GANs from a vegan source instead of animal bones?
There are many ways of doing things. People can be as creative as they can be. Those are just one example of how to make calcium GANs.
Thank you, Ton.
Okay, no problem.
Could I ask a question? Thank you for your beautiful presentation, Tom.
Thank
I've
you.
been using a star formation to make a pest repellent with ping pong balls and nano-coated legs. So I was getting confused on the loading using GANs and so on. So just before yesterday, maybe 1 or 2 days before, I decided I would load these balls with my intention and emotions to achieve what I wanted to accomplish, even though I had put those intentions and emotions in those while I was also putting it together. Now, yesterday, I thought I heard you say that you created H1 with your intention. Could you share that with us?
Yes. This required testing on a lot of people in the effectiveness on the power of our thought and what we can create. Just like I said earlier, the energy of love, peace, balance, you can name H1, H3, H20. When you think, okay, I want to put the energy of H1 into that ping pong ball or into that glass container. You can say it to yourself, you can think about it, you can do verbally or mentally. It doesn't really matter. It's that your intent. You can visualize it or not visualize it. And it takes practice to have a confirmation if you have done it correctly, you waited long enough. So it's about practice and finding someone that are sensitive in energy to be your guinea pig.
Yes, I relate that to the icons where there was some discussion about it. And I know Mr. Keshe said that if somebody put something in there, like the weeping icons and so on and so forth. And I was always wondering if that was the non-tangible, non-dimensional.
Every product we make, everything we do, there is an energy and an intention attached to it. The strength of it depends on our consciousness level, of our awareness level of what we are doing. Are we doing it consciously or subconsciously?
Well, thank you for sharing that.
I think people have not experienced energy. If you work with people that are familiar with energy, and they can look at the product and know who created the product by the energy it radiates, it matches your energy field.
thank you again. I admire your work over there. It's
Okay,
in
thank you.
sharing with all of them.
Thank you for the beautiful presentation. It was really nice to see. Maybe we should proceed with this presentation of Universal Council. Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yes, good afternoon. 1 second after, yeah, perfect. This is Stefania, the representative of the Italian language speaking. Thank you so much for this presentation. It's actually very, very good. And it's funny because I was listening yesterday in the Farsi teaching, and I was thinking, oh, I wish to have your presentation today in the platform today, so we can share knowledge and see what everyone does in different countries. And today you're here, so it's brilliant. So I just want to say thank you. I just have one question before I talk about the dome. How much did you improve your production in compare before? Are you producing like a maybe even faster speed or?
Can you clarify in production of what?
Like for example, now you were growing fruit, vegetables, fruit. You were I saw you put nice trees. You know, even with the baby cucumber. No, do you find now you produce more with less time or bigger quantity, or as before using the plasma?
Yes, I am not a true commercial farmer to have a good comparison of last year, last season compared to this season. I'm just having a basic common sense average person analysis of what might be and what might not be. The quantity for me, as I look at the fruit trees around compared to what you normally see, for example, we have one, they are a lot bigger in size. The quantity is a lot bigger, I mean, a lot more. And the size is that enormous compared to what it normally is. But when we look at things from the effect of cash plasma, from KF Vietnamese perspective, is we don't really care if it's bigger, smaller, less, higher thing. What it is the quality of it. When we consume that product, how does it make us feel? What value does it add? Does it make us feel better, more energetic when we consume it? Those things you have to judge personally through experience. By judging cash plasma technologies just by on face value, oh, a lot of people are going to be disappointed when they don't see something showing exponential change or a difference, especially when they come to see the tea farm. They expect the tea tree to be like 10 meters tall and producing tons of tea or something. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I just went out and in. I had the problem, so I didn't listen the last few words you just said. So you based on quality. You based
Yes.
on. I mean, fair enough. I mean, I understand that, and because you can heal with food. So is the food taste better? I assume.
Yes, if people are sensitive enough or they care, they pay attention to what they eat and consume, they will notice the difference.
because I was, as you were doing this presentation, suddenly I visualized like how would it be wonderful to have plasma shops, they selling plasma vegetables, little bit like here in UK, we got a lots of brand, big shops, they sell only organics food. And especially now with, with the pandemic and things like that, I thought if you had, because we always want to improve, if we could have a plasma shop that selling food that it's plasmatized, suddenly I thought it would be brilliant if we could somehow start to something like that we sell in plasma food. And maybe people will start feel the difference and see the difference. It would be great. I thought just suddenly because it's very inspiring what you've been doing. And so I thought it would be so lovely if whatever you do, it be multiplied from all the farmers or people who grow in fruit and vegetable, and then somehow I don't know how, but this plasma shop start to open, and because also from my understanding, it's really benefit you as a farmer, so you don't get sick from the using pesticide. Because, for example, I studied agriculture in the past at college, and a problem is also for the farmer when they use a lot of pesticide and a chemical product. For example, in Italy, we have that the farmers also get not well, or the neighbors of the living close to the farmer, they start to get sometimes sick. So the problem of farming, for example, if I have to buy now a house in the countryside, definitely I look if there are people who farming around my house, because I know that even if I'm not in their property, the wind will move. So definitely, I assume that this is what you're doing is beneficial for you, for the animal, for the plant, but also for your neighbors and also surrounding. For example, in Italy and all over the world, we have a problem with bees, and we have a knowledge seekers in Italy. Her name is Lara, and she saw this bee that she was not very well, and I think she put a drop of plasma, something. I don't know exactly the story, but somehow the bee recovered fully. So she wanted to start a campaign to save the bees, because as you know, if there are no bees, there are no human, because once the bees die, the whole humankind died. So it's very our interest to keep the bees alive, and I assume that I remember actually from Congress that because we use pesticide and chemical, the bees start to get, I think, maybe I'm wrong here if I remember wrong, but they start to get like a dementia, or they start to have a problem to remember where home is, and they cannot go back home, and I think they die or something because of too much pesticides. And I assume somehow if you can spread through all the farmers the plasma technology, will be beneficial for the bees and for us. Did you have any experience with the bees?
No, I don't deal with bees. We do have bees farmer. In one of our tea farms, we do have bees on it, but they're growing, they're healthy, they're fine, but I don't have experience treating bees or taking care of them or processing the bees. I just create an environment where they would survive and be very productive and happy.
Yeah, but I'm sure you must have seen more insect, more alive, maybe butterfly. Did you see any increase of also, for example, butterfly or birds or?
Yes, because we part of the technology is to restore the ecosystem, put everything back to balance. Not just the butterfly, it basically is everything you can think of is in abundance because it's able to survive in a more balanced environment. Just the insects, the grass, the weeds, the plants, the trees.
And how is your neighbor? Because your neighbor, no, you said your neighbor, it spray everywhere. It spray, you know, and you kind of keep clean to make sure that to make sure that he doesn't spray. Do you think he will start to look what you do and maybe, you know, maybe start to follow you? That would be lovely if he somehow you're creating like a ripple effect, and even the farmer, you know, the neighbors around you start to you know, apply the same things. Do you find him be interested or you find him be against it? You know, sometimes people are just against it. How's it going with the neighbor?
For us, we don't care what the neighbor thinks or do.
Yeah.
Everybody have their own free will choice. But what we do is we lead by example. Vietnamese people are very practical and technical. When they see something working, they'll follow. It's that simple. If we want to change the industry, we have to be the change that people see, and if they like what they see, they can follow. That's why we start growing rice and other things, so people can see there is an alternative path, and that growing organic rice is doable and it's possible and it's cost effective. People don't like pesticide, but they are trapped in a system where there is no alternative. What we can do to be of service is to provide a solution for people when they're ready. They can take that path, that choice, that personal choice.
They're very beautiful. Very beautiful said. Yes, you're right. We should not change anyone, but we should work on ourselves. I think that is very beautiful said. Yes, I think that this is the step. You're right. If each one of us does, you know, like you said, everyone, you don't have to convince anyone, you don't have to force anyone, you just live by example. It's very beautiful, I think that is the way. Oh yeah, very good answer, yeah. I like that, yeah, perfect. Yeah, I had another question, but I can't remember. Maybe we'll come later. But I assume this is also do like a plasma dome. For example, I have to present the plasma dome now. Is my bit of presentation. But this is what you're doing is again plasma dome, because you know, you increase the plasma where you are, and somebody else in other ways, and still is the same copper, the same zinc, so they will connect with each others. So yeah, thank you so much. It's really inspire, and definitely inspire me also to do more in my home and be the example, like you said. Thank you.
Tan, it's Doug here from Australia. I I was wondering if you've thought about, or if it's still a big problem, the unexploded ordnance and things lying in the ground like landmines. Do you see an application from what you've said, how to neutralize those sorts of things, or is that outside of your area of interest?
It's outside my area of interest and outside of, because I live in a communist country. So there's a freedom of choice and freedom of action is not as freely available. Plus, there are certain areas, but we do have leftover, because Vietnam is an agriculture industry or country, and a lot of bombs that dropped down that did not explode. Yes, we have a lot of incidents, but not that many anymore. Once in a while, somebody on the rice paddy would hit a bomb that did not explode before during way long ago. But that incident become less and less because people are using the land more and more, and the unavailable land becomes a lot smaller. So the incident where we hit the unexploded bomb, or the area between, let's say, Laos and Cambodia and Vietnam, where you have a no man's zone, those are like military zone. You can't actually just go there and do stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no more questions, I will talk about the plasma of Dome, and is the plasma, the Dome of Peace. And so Mr. Keshe, this is a message from Mr. Keshe, and he asked to please to remember of every Sunday, and from now on until we elevate the soul of the planet, to spray this is a message for all knowledge seeker, to spray the guns every Sunday around 12 CET time and 18 PM CET time every Sunday. And he said, thank you for participating in the greatest moment by the soul of man, to bring about the peace on this planet as a permanent feature of the life of this planet. So, as you know, our wish is bring peace in all planet in a permanent way, and spray. Maybe it seems like stupid things, just spray around the plasma like this, but actually, if we do not underestimate the power of the plasma and the connection there is between all the plasma in the world and the action of each knowledge seeker, if we do not underestimate our own personal action, if you put all this together worldwide, we can make a big difference. We can make a huge difference, because we can rise the fields and facilitate the elevation of our soul. And this means end of struggle. It means equality. It means no cleaning the environment and not hurting nature or animals. So live in harmony, basically. And it's something that I'm sure we all look for this. So definitely I invite you to spray the guns. And of course, by also having the wish or having the enhancement unit in every city, that also is another efficient way to raise the vibration in the whole planet and to speed up the process of peace. so we can have a more enjoyable life with taking away all this struggle and all this fighting, or injustice. So I really invite you for this. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we can go to the next slide, Rick. This is Marie. I'm Universal Council member for the Norwegian language. Last time I had a soul teaching on how the purpose of life, or the purpose of our creation. And in that teaching, we learned that if we become perfect souls, then we can be like the pearl in an oyster in the universe and be the seed for a whole new universe. That was that teaching. And how do we become perfect souls? I made this text a while ago, and I actually presented it not long ago. So you might have heard it, but it's kind of related to last teaching. So that's why I bring it up again. And let me see. I was listening to Mr. Keshe in a teaching in the private school, where from 4th of May 2020. And I got really inspired, and he was really telling us a lot how we were not living as we supposed to do. And I was thinking a lot about that. And I got this idea. Okay. Okay, so I start my presentation here. In this teaching that I mentioned about the soul, Mr. Keshe talks about how to reach your own soul, which is something that has been on my mind for a long time, of course. I guess it's on everyone's mind. In this teaching, it talks about how to balance your books and the importance of doing so you are ready to meet your own soul. So balancing the books is to look at your life, what you did, and do some realization that it might be your own fault in a way. So I was thinking, how can I get started? And I got this brilliant idea to write a letter to my own soul. The letter to my own soul is like a timeline from my childhood until today. And I'm adding to my letter every time I remember something about my past life, people I have known in my life, and the letter is slowly growing in size. And to be honest, it's a long and boring story. So here is what I gained from the teaching mentioned with Mr. Keshe. He says, your soul says you lived a shitty life. You have not understood your own self. The soul is aware of your misconduct, but in physicality, you think you are correct. The soul is always aware of your expectations. For example, if you offer to help someone, but actually you do it for your own benefit and not to be helping someone. The conflicts in your life is between soul of the man and the soul of physicality. And therefore, everything becomes unbearable. So this is the reason for my messy and not too happy life. Then go back to the start of the problem. People do wrong and the soul is aware of it. And you are punished by your own soul. If you do a lot of wrongs and you feel you are the victim, then you continue to lie to yourself, covering up your misconduct. In front of your own soul, you are naked. Your soul knows everything about you. If you betrayed someone, your partner, your friend, the result is that you will have a mess in your life. You can convince one or two people, but you can never convince your own soul. Your soul knows everything about you and your past life. Those who do wrong, they never see their soul, Mr. Keshe says. You will never see your soul if you do not clean up your own mess. And it's not cleansing your soul, it's understanding of oneself. Stop mourning and stop where you go wrong. Stop cheating, stop lying to yourself. Be responsible in any situation. Like Mr. Keshe many times says, talk good, think good, act good. It's very simple. Try to be honest with yourself. Stop blaming others. So now I see all my problems are my own creation. Go find out what you did, who you hurted, what you damaged, and be straight with it. Not just talk as it is to your own benefit. Now you might start understanding. See how many you have betrayed. Stop lying to yourself and stop lying to others about yourself. Clean the manure from your soul. Then Mr. Keshe gives us some advice in how to live our lives. He says, I talk about my problems because then it becomes the problem of the souls who created the problem. They cannot live with that. Only take what you need, then you live a good life. It takes the pressure of your life. When you are clear with your soul, you live like me, Mr. Keshe said. If you are harmed, you walk away from it. If you stay in it, you have to pay for it. Be an observer. If you become part of the problem, you get involved and then you become part of the problem. So walk away from people who hurt you. If you react to it, you become part of it. Clean up what you have created, being straight with yourself. The jail is here, and there is no free card this time. Now you have to start sorting out your conduct and behavior with your own soul. Life is continuous from the beginning to the end. Life is an energy and nobody can cheat it. The change comes through understanding yourself. Then you change. It takes both detachment and enlightenment. Once you judge yourself, you put your things straight. There is nobody else to judge you. But you have to put it right to the people you did wrong. Because the physical soul has to be justified just as well as the soul of the man. You have to match your behavior with the behavior of your soul. From today, try to live by the law of the universe, not by your own laws. See what you have done to that soul and see if you you are just to yourself. So by writing the letter to my own soul, I go back and I turn stone by stone. Many things have started to change. I feel better with myself and with my relationships. People and situations I thought I had forgotten can suddenly appear in my mind. It's all added to my letter. I understand that I have to do the clean up also in physicality with the people I have hurt, like my mother. My relationship with my mother has been damaged by my misconduct through life. And now it feels better. My soul is healing, the soul of my mother is healing, and our relationship is slowly healing. I admit that I created a mess by myself. I'm ashamed of my misconduct through life, but by trying to sort it out, it makes me feel better. I can live with my past, and I have learned a lot about myself on the way. I'm trying to be honest with myself, and I have a strong feeling of relief in a strange way. Helped by writing down all my misconducts and to admit to myself that I did many wrongs in my past. Now I'm eager to sort out my past, to clear my soul, and to get on with my new good life, where I live in balance with my own soul. In a way, this has been like Judgment Day in advance for me. I'm more aware now than before, in thoughts, in talks, and in what I do in my life. My life is now guided by the tools given freely to me, the ethos, the commandments, and all the teachings, and by the new understanding of myself, it all supports me in living my life the correct way. This is my way of balancing my books. This is my attempt to clean my own soul, and by that create the conditions for the fields for my soul to elevate. So that was my text. And this is part of the soul teachings that I do. And I told you that the last teaching was about this, what the purpose of life, and that we need to become perfect souls if we are going to be creators in the universe, and to also to be able to travel with our own soul. And the next teaching will be about the commandments, because we have many good tools to use, how to know how to live our lives. So I hope you will follow these teachings. Thank you. I also will say that there is an interview tonight with the TV Galactica, together with Rafael from Keshe Foundation, Brazil. So I will post the link in the chat, and it will be really good if you joined us. Thank you. So then I guess you can go to the next slide.
Hi, this is Azar again, Falsi UC. On Monday, I think is November 23rd, the Farsi public teaching are inviting all the languages to come and present a short summary of what they do in their communities, and just speak about their language and what's going on with that community. Since we want to fit everybody, we were thinking about 10 to 15 minutes presentation about each language would be very nice. So that way we can also do this. We start with Farsi, and then we can actually bring this culture to other languages, and we can try to do this once in a while in order to exchange knowledge and also allow other communities understand what is really going on in your communities, in where you live and in the language you speak. So it's going to be, we will post it, we will create a platform, we will put it in all the telegrams with the time and a date. I just want to give you guys heads up, which is going to be, today's November 10. So it's going to be almost 2 weeks from now on 23rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Asai. Then we can go to the next slide.
Hello, everyone. This is Masvek from the Bengali community. Well, as you know, the Bengali community is rather big, includes the Milky Way. We talked about it a little bit, where we were, and we mentioned about arriving there in peace and friendship. So in doing so, what we did is that we operated in a high field strength. And we also talked about having a verbal field strength, for verbal level field strength, and even going beyond that is one of the things that we can all exercise as we explore the various higher field strength avenues of our soul. Now that we can operate at this level collectively as a soul of the universal community, then can we bring this ability to operate at this level to our planetary environment? Today we had presentation from Tin about Vietnam, and we are here gathered together from various communities across the planet. And we have lived in relative isolation in the past centuries, and we had wars, of course, but we are coming together. So instead of operating at a lower field strength, below the emotional field strength that affects us so much every day, we can do the coming together from a higher field strength. That which we saw in the case of our wish for the Milky Way galaxy. One of the things that in our teaching that is fairly clear by now, I hope, to all of us, is that our physicality, soul of physicality, sends messages to our soul of man through the emotional fields. And there are distortions in the process. So this bottom-up approach from physicality to the soul of man has been cause of many conflicts over the ages. So as we become more aware of the presence of soul and its role, in the larger unity. We can come from that end and make things function at that level. So the things we do, our connection, emotional connection with our fellow beings on this planet of different cultures, of different life forms, chickens, quails, jackfruit, papayas, all of them. This connection we can use, we can explore these connections from a higher field strength. And we can say, we can add a little bit to perhaps for this context to our wish that we made for the Milky Way galaxy. We come in peace and friendship and in affluence. For that has been, from the physical point of view of the physicality, something absent. But as we are familiar with both the soul level and the benefits of plasma technology, we can add that too. And again, that's operating from a higher field strength. So in doing so, we correct the distortions or the lies or whatever, however we may call it, from the field strength of physicality, and come in harmony with the soul's purpose. And this requires that we operate from that level. And in elevating the souls of various cultures, we can do it through the emotional link that is being established, as Azar just said, that the Farsi community is coming together with many of the other language communities, and they have already done so with English community as well as the Vietnamese community. And as we come together from this higher purpose of the soul, we no longer have to be burdened by the physicality as we have been. And there are various avenues of exploration of this emotional link that we have between community at a higher field strength. We'll explore this further as we continue operating at higher field strength. But for now, we can make that wish that I just mentioned for all the communities we are in touch with or we are coming in touch with. And this includes the other life forms that we live with and on this planet. And in due course, perhaps we don't have to harm them or kill them, and learn how to live without consuming them. And again, this is coming from a higher field strength that we can operate without them being part of our consumption pattern. And there are many teachings associated with how one can do this. And one thing I can say that this can be done. And although, I mean, for social reasons, I still do eat, but since making the 5 cup, I have no urge to eat or no hunger. So it is possible. And if necessary, it's rather easy to do it. If I can do it, most people I'm sure can do it. And with that, I'll conclude my presentation. Next time we'll talk more about how we can explore the higher fields of emotional field strength. Thank you.
Thank you, Mosvik. Okay, this is Marie again. Our Sweta is not available today, so I have to do this invitation. And it's an invitation to the Universal Council, to be a member of the Universal Council, or to be a member of us, Universal Council supporter. So we have some background information that you can find in our documents, which are called the UC Charter and the UC Mandate. And you can find them on the homepage of Universal Council. To be a member of the Universal Council, it's your soul who do this decision. So if you have an inner calling, then fill in the application form that I guess we will see later. And you can apply as a Universal Council member for any open language position. So if you look at the next, we don't have to look at the next slide just now, but on the next slide there is which language positions that are occupied. Okay, so we see this Universal Council homepage. There are a lot of information here. Beautiful colors, like Sveta always says. Need to be updated. But the most important thing is this form in the bottom, I think. Yes, so this is the form you fill in. So now you know where to find it, and you fill it in and send it in, and it will be checked because all members and all KF students, we are checked through security. And when you pass the security test, then you might be a member of the Universal Council or a Universal Council supporter. And as a Universal Council supporter, you can choose any language. So that's good. We really need more members, both Universal Council members and supporters, because we have very much coming up of important work to do all these beautiful plans that the Universal Council have made. And our main goal is, of course, world peace. So if we go back to the other to the presentation, can we do that?
Yes, we had one question here from Julie, who says, last week I filled out the form to join the Universal Council on the webpage. How long does it normally take until I hear back from someone? Thank you.
Well, I know as a student, I waited, I think months, several months, but depends on how the back office is working. If they have a lot to do, and I think it's they're using a lot of energy checking out everyone who's coming in. So I cannot give a.
I think, Mary, I think the best way to do it, because I had the similar, is this question is there are questions that you find in every languages, and I found this. I do this way. For example, I don't know, Julie, which nationality you are, but let's say that, I don't know, let's say you're Italian, for example. So you make the application, and then you make sure that you are in the Telegram group of your own languages. There will be someone who's active. You will, because usually in every Telegram chat, you will have people like other Universal Council supporter that will you let them know that you will have some active, no? So you let them know that that you make the application. For example, let's say you make application for Universal Council supporter, because there is already, like, for example, Universal Council. Then you make sure the Universal Council, through in Telegram or other ways, that they know about your application and what they can do to speed up the process, because it's correct. Everyone have to go through this check, no? And this requires time, because we got not many volunteers and we got many applications. But because for Universal Council supporter is also gonna go against the foundation if we take too long, no? So the way to do it, I found, you let know to someone, for example, Universal Council, if you are Universal Council supporter, or by the way around, you tell to some Universal Council, and you make sure that this come to Ella with name and surname, and you just now and then you remind them, because as they are overly busy, you just remind them, because they genuine sometimes they forget, because they have so many things to do, and you just keep a track of it. But if you just do the application and you do nothing and you just wait for an answer, then maybe in that case you will have to wait much longer, because somehow it could be not intentionally left behind, but only because there are few volunteers and a lot of work. So will be not intentional. So if you wait a long time, then you have to keep in somehow go through your Telegram until you get an answer back. Because otherwise is the same story, where we need more volunteers to make our work more efficient, or to be more concrete with finding solution to help more new knowledge seekers. But because if we don't follow up the application and we just leave it like this, then it's like the cat eating his own tail. Then the person that want to volunteer maybe get discouraged, because they do not have a reply, and they forget about it, and then we're still in the same problem where we don't have enough volunteer. So we have to kind of work together and make sure that your application is being followed and you get answer for it. So what I recommend, just not do the application, forget about it. Just follow up in your own language group. This is my suggestion.
In her case, the language group is English, and we don't even have an English representative, or at least an active English representative.
Okay, so very well. Sorry, interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So where would she go to?
I think Dean is English representative. Dean?
It's like I just had a meeting with another knowledge seekers from England, and we were discussing exactly this, because I'm living in London, I'm Italians. So we were discussing exactly this, where we want to make the English community more active. Okay, so we got at the present time, we have English Telegram chat, UK Telegram chat, there is, and I can look and make the link in the chat, so she can be in contact with us in the English chat, and we made a London chat as well. If she, in case she's
Canada.
from,
she's in Canada.
Oh, she's in Canada. Okay, okay.
England. So there's she's in the Canadian Corona group now.
Okay.
And there is no English representative. There is the UC support. Doug is a UC support English. Mark is a UC support English. Dean is a UC support English. But we don't have the actual UC member, I believe. I think we had one, but he went over the age limit, I believe.
I know, for
so-
example, the person I met today, he told me his wish is to become Universal Council English representative. So if he still his wish, and he will go ahead and will make the application. Soon we will have Universal Council representative for the English language. But it's the same problem over and over, because even this person, he will apply it, and so I think what I would do is for Julie. You say her name is Julie, no? So what I would do if I was in her, I will contact the Universal Council supporter, like Mark or Dina, or I don't remember the other person you said. Doug. Yeah. So I will contact one of those and make sure that they will contact the Ella, for example, or anyone who's in charge with the check, and just remind them until they have an answer, and that it's the way to get unstuck, so you just keeping, and then hopefully more volunteers will apply, more people will be able to help, and then these things will not be a problem any longer.
Exactly. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Stefania. Can we go back to the presentation? Okay, so we talked about how to fill in the form and how to actually get your security check through in a decent time. This is the list of Universal Council members that are active. I cannot see the English one, but I don't know if he is resigned. You also have the link to the UC Charter, where you can read about the work of the Universal Council and the UC mandate. Then there is a link to the Earth Council Constitution and the Peace Roadmap. And you can also contact the Universal Council by using these emails. Okay, so I guess we go to the next slide, which is questions and comments. So if you want to speak out, then it's the time to do that. Thank you. Someone has their hand up, Salome.
Yes, okay. Just a second here. Go ahead, Salomia.
Yes.
Salomea means peace. I start to talk with you for the second time in this panel. My question is if you already collaborate with other organizations which work on a peace field, like Baha'i community. I don't know if you know Baha'i community, international community, which is originated in Iran also, and other communities. Because I think will be better if we can be aggregated and united around this concept of peace, not only concept, but how to make the peace on the earth, on this planet. Inner peace, peace with other people, and peace between nations. Thank you.
And can you explain in detail what do you mean?
In details. I'm not very familiar with this council, Universal Council. I didn't study the chart, I didn't study the constitution and roadmap and so on. So, and maybe you already do this kind of collaboration with other institution dealing with peace. And if not, maybe it will be a good idea to start to work with other people, and maybe they would like to be involved, and we can create mixed platform with other entities. Many people are working about peace and a different level. At the grassroots, maybe we can work with the government. I don't know. I'm not familiar. I didn't study. It was only one proposal. Maybe you already do this.
Can I answer this, Azar, or you wanted to say something?
No, go ahead, please.
Okay, perfect. First of all, thank you for your question. Can you please tell me your name again? I didn't catch it.
Salomea means peace.
Salomea.
It's from Shalom.
Shalom, a beautiful name, Salomea.
Yes.
Beautiful name.
Yeah, thank you, Stefania.
Thank you. First of all, I think what you're asking come perfect timing, because our intention is now to invite on this platform other community or other religions. So, for example, we want to invite also for example, if there is a priest or if there is any other, like you said, any other person, they're welcome to come here and we can start to interact. So if you know anyone who could be possible interested to come to this platform and start to interact with each other and open table and compare or I don't know, or discuss or interact and exchanging knowledge, definitely we're welcome to this. Yes, we already, I know for fact, because behind in the background, how usually Mr. Keshe said in the background, we already approached. And for example, I did personally as well, other big group who are actually worldwide followed. I'm not gonna say name here because I don't know if I'm allowed, so to not create any problem, I will not say which is the group, because I didn't ask permission. If I don't know, I don't even if I can say this or not, because it was a private meetings. But I know for fact because I organize it and the group I organized it, they knew already about the Keshe Foundation. They already knew about Mr. Keshe for a long time, and they love him. They love to pieces what we are doing, but they were a little bit conscious on the way to interact with us, because so I didn't follow up the meetings between them and Mr. Keshe. I introduced them, and this person introduced with Keshe, it's followed by many people worldwide, and he also has got the same vision of bringing peace. So that was the reason why I introduced to Mr. Keshe. They already knew each other. I introduced them actually maybe 10 years ago, and it was not so successful at the time. I reintroduced them back again very recently. They love Mr. Keshe's work. They love what we're doing, but they know also how we've been attacked from, as you know, there are a lot of bad publicity about us when you go into the internet. A lot of people try everything to discriminate us. So they want to have, I didn't follow the following meetings. So definitely they want to work with us. Definitely they want to collaborate with us. But because all these political situations and they want to do it in no, I mean, I didn't see them come forward publicly, so they must have do it in the background. But I can guarantee you that we started collaborating with. So in the other hand, we always welcome people come to this platform. So for example, tonight, Mary, as she said just now, she having an interview with the radio station, and she's having now, I think it's number 8, or if I'm not wrong. So she's constantly working with these groups of people that they also want to bring peace. So I also propose why we don't invite those people to this platform. The people who interview Mary, maybe we can ask them to come here and be interviewed by something like this. But definitely, I agree with you, Salomon, that Salomon, sorry, my pronunciation, and I can't remember the name properly. And so definitely, this is what we want. Is now to join the dots. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Hello, Salome. Well, as far as Baha'i community, Mr. Keshe in August, 2nd August. I don't know if you know about that. If you go 2 years ago, we asked the Baha'i the House of Peace, and they refused to give that house for our Universal Council.
Excuse me, Marinus, could you adjust your microphone? We can barely hear you, and there's a bunch of clicking in the background.
Sorry. Hello, everybody. Beautiful knowledge seeker. As far as you send your picture, beautiful picture, and I don't know how long have you been in knowledge seeker workshops or Keshe Foundation. I don't know how far you have been, but we had asked the Baha'i House of Peace in Israel, in Haifa, to use this House of Peace for our peace, Universal Council Peace for the World. And they refused that to give it to Mr. Keshe. And it was supposed to be for the peace. We all signed, I don't know if you have signed the peace treaty ever, no? if you want to be anybody in here, it's a non-profit, non-religious, scientific place. We don't, we have no community, and we have all signed to be a student knowledge seeker. We have signed a peace treaty. This knowledge, Mr. Keshe, gives this knowledge freely to all humanities, no matter what religion, what community, what color, what sex. It's for all of them in a condition of being peaceful. Everything is free for anybody. We are now maybe 200 million, 300 millions. No media has talked about us, about Keshe Foundation. Only some, we never did publicity, nothing. And we are not community style of, it's a universal, non-religious place. And everybody is welcome. Every country is welcome with love, like anybody else. We are like that. We open the arms to anybody that is peaceful, that puts the arms aside, and all the things are in the internet. We all have the same access freely to all the knowledge. Nothing is hidden. So there is no need to the help of United Nations, because of all that, we are in such a, you see the state of peace in the world. As it's funny, we talk about peace. So it's for everybody, every religion. We are over that. We have passed the state of religion. It has been. We don't need religion. We don't need God to help us to do this, to that. If somebody believes in God, that's his personal decision, and it's wonderful. If doesn't believe in God, that's wonderful. We have no community in here, and it's free for everybody and every country in the condition of peace. That's all. I hope you study what Keshe Foundation is, these things which I said, and you see that the door is open for anybody, and we don't do anything illegal to hurt anybody. We are not supposed to hurt anybody, and just peace. That's the only condition. And the door is open for all of humanity or extraterrestrial or whatever in the universe. I hope I cleared a little bit the mission of Keshe Foundation International.
That's nice, Marinus. Thank you. And I could add that one of the reasons the Universal Council was formed is actually to replace organizations like the United Nations because they are not doing an adequate job. So the idea is that a few years ago, the peace treaty that Marinez mentioned was sent to all of the heads of the countries of the world, and they were asked to sign the Universal Peace Treaty of the, from the Keshe Foundation, to agree to lay down arms, basically, and to agree to peace. And so the only nation that responded actually was the Cherokee Nation of Indians in America. And they signed the peace treaty with their elders, but they weren't considered a nation by Mr. Keshe at the time. He wanted the, certified nations of, like in the United Nations, to respond. So he had delegates from the Universal Council stand in for the world leaders and sign the peace treaty for them. So in effect, the World Peace Treaty has been signed by representatives from all the countries of the world through the work of the Universal Council. And we spend a lot of time and energy doing all that. And so that's part of that connection. The offers have been put out. The offer is always there for organizations, for countries, for any entity to join with the Universal Council and to join with that whole peace process. But they must sign that World Peace Treaty first, and that's a prerequisite to various functions with the Keshe Foundation. Anybody from the UC add something else to that whole question of previous connections with organizations, or how do we interact? It's on a different level. First of all, it's usually more of a soul level with the Universal Council. Can anyone add to that?
Rick, hi, it's Dean here, Dean from the UK, the representative for the English UC support. Sorry, guys, I've only just come in. I've just been listening to what you've been saying, Rick. For me, it's a very deep soul connection you have. You usually find you have most of the people come in contact with the Keshe Foundation and come in contact with this this knowledge. Usually find that the soul has led them to this position, and whether they know about the technology or about the soul teachings or even about the foundation itself, your soul's aware of everything that goes on within your space gap, within your physicality, and it positions you. It takes you. It leads you around. It puts you in a position where you become aware of many interactions that are going on around you. One of the interactions on this planet right now is, and has been for quite some time now, is the Keshe Foundation, which is a peaceful organization that is here to help and support and change humanity and bring many, many beautiful new technologies forward, and to help many nations, many governmental institutions, many countries, anything you can think of on this planet to come to a very peaceful conclusion. When you hear about this organization, when you become involved, as I said, it's on a soul level. So you become very aware of your soul. You become peaceful inside. You start to acknowledge within yourself a deep feeling of wanting to give unconditionally to help others. Because once you actually understand this, and once you actually read the mandate and the charters that are written for the Universal Council, which I think are extremely important for everybody to be aware of, they have many, many beauties written within them. There's very special words and phrases and meanings within this text that has very much beautiful significance to the whole of humanity. And it's vastly important that everybody reads them. You read it with your soul, and it's a deep soul connection that will enhance, elevate you, will elevate yourself, your soul, and then you can use this elevation to elevate other souls. It's very, very deep, profound, universal knowledge that Mr. Keshe and the Universal Community and the Universal Council, the Earth Council, has spent a lot of time putting together. For me, on a personal level, when I read the words, they resonated, and let's just take for one instance the 99 names of God. When you read those words, those sacred words, many realities and many things can manifest. There's much universal, beautiful knowledge within these texts. And I think, as I've just stated, all of you should read this. And even if you have read it, I think you should read it again with a fresh soul and a fresh look, especially in these moments right now. I think it's incredibly important. And as I said earlier, you will feel this information, you will feel this with your soul, and you can be part of this beautiful blossoming, this beautiful expansion of consciousness of the true divinity of being a human being, and being aware and awake and alive and present on this planet in these very moments that are extremely precious, and just a wonderful time to be around, to be present with everybody, with every soul that's present actually here now, and all the souls, because all the souls are very aware of each other. Even if your physicality is unaware, that the souls all know each other. We're one big family already, and we're just here to spread this knowledge and to let all peoples of humanity, all peoples of the world know that we are one big peaceful family, and the universal community are watching and waiting for this to manifest, so we can join the universal community and be part of something that we've taken away from ourselves through our own thoughts and intentions. So we now need to readjust and bring our attention steadily and focused into a new dimension, a new beautiful being that Mr. Keshe has dedicated his whole life to teaching humanity. It's a very fundamental, big foundation, a big movement of global importance. And as Mr. Keshe has said, it's the last time a messenger will come to this planet. That's how important it is for the whole of humanity. So with your soul and with your physicality, with everything within your being, please join us, be part of it, and let's bring this beauty to mankind. Let's be kind to ourselves. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Dean. I put on the screen here a previous effort initiated by Mr. Keshe, and it's called the Blueprint for Peace for Humanity, which shows a series of live streaming events back in July and August of 2017. You can see day after day of this Blueprint for Peace for Humanity. It goes on from, wow, I've forgotten there's so many of them, from June 30th. Not every week, but just through the week as well, when appropriate. There's quite a few of these broadcasts right through to July, from June, and they were very pointed. You can see in this one, for example, the images of all the world leaders at one of the G conferences. And Mr. Keshe was, very explicit to confront them if are they really there for world peace? And if so, why won't they sign the World Peace Treaty? But he did a bypass, and we have signed the World Peace Treaty for the world leaders. So, in effect, the world has started the process of disarmament, and the World Peace Treaty is in effect right now. So this is the way, the way Mr. Keshe and the Keshe Foundation and the Universal Council operates. If something's in the way, then we bypass it, and we try to elevate those that need help, and elevate ourselves in order to be the solution for problems. So it's an interesting process to see this kind of thing happen over the years. This is 3 years ago now. So yeah, it started in July, but it actually ended. I don't know why it's just July here, but
you have written in the screen ended the 4th of October 2017.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's more in that time period, but in any case, that was an effort at that time involving the, I believe it was sort of the formation of the Universal Council at that time as well. So lots of efforts have been done besides that in the between time. There's various efforts for peace. There was energy for world peace. There was cancer, a cure for cancer in exchange for world peace, and so on and so forth. All of the technologies are offered in exchange for world peace. And that's what is required in order to initiate some of the more powerful technologies. If we don't have world peace and we have levitating cars and super fast transportation from continent to continent in minutes instead of hours, this is very powerful technology that has to be respected. So we have to have world peace for that to be implemented fully. And this is the big reason why Mr. Keshe pushes for this universal peace on this planet, so we can become part of the universal community and start to implement this technology and get to leave the planet and do some venturing and adventuring outside of this immediate vicinity. Perhaps we'll need to one day. In any case, that's something I just wanted to share. We'll go back to the previous programming now.
Rick and everyone, Doug again. I remember this episode of communicating to leaders to go to Haifa in Israel, to the Baha'i. It's a very beautiful looking place. I wrote to the Prime Minister of Australia, and his personal secretary replied that although he was very appreciative, he could not attend because of previous appointments. And it came to the attention of Mr. Keshe, and he insists, it's quite humorous really, but it's the way Mr. Keshe is. He insisted then that that the country of Australia be put on a list of warmongers that was on the Keshe Foundation website at the time. And I don't know, I'm not privy to what happened behind the scenes, but it caused quite a kerfuffle in the Australian government. So, just reiterating that many attempts and offers have been made in the past and in the present and will be made in the future. And as we've all been saying, the Keshe Foundation is open. It's an open platform. The only prerequisite, as has been said, is the signing of the peace treaty, so that these things can be implemented. And it is going on. But I thought I would relate that because it's part of that effort we put in 3 years ago.
Yes, at least you got a response. That was something.
Yes, it was a very cordial letter. Mr. Keshe asked me to send it to the Keshe Foundation so it could be posted. And it showed that they did receive, and in subsequent times between then and now, much effort has been put in to send information to governments and government officials. So they do know, but they, as Mr. Keshe says, have so many agendas that they're committed to other situations, and that prevents them from publicly, you know, acknowledging. I remember just recently that Mr. Keshe mentioned sending the peace treaty to President Obama when he was in office. And I remember the letter that he wrote back, personal, not as the president, but just on, you know, his own personal, dear Mehran, you know, I'd love to do, and personally, I will sign this peace treaty, but I cannot do it on behalf of the nation because, and he wrote 3 pages of reasons. So, you know, everyone knows, all the governments know, whether it's on the mainstream media or not, as we see, it doesn't matter. We are the mainstream media now, and the mainstream media is now the alternative, and people can watch the so-called mainstream media, the televisions and so on. They won't hear a peep about the Keshe Foundation. But if the soul leads us to investigate, then as Dean said, we will come to this this mainstream of information that is the Keshe Foundation, and you know, that's where we're at. Thank you very much.
This is Moshfik. I would add a little bit about one of the recent teaching had some discussion about enforcement of peace. And, you know, one of the thing that Mr. Keshe mentioned is that no nuclear weapons will be allowed. And, you know, there are technical solutions that Mr. Keshe has publicly mentioned, which you can disable a lot of military hardware, and they're not that difficult to make. But as was part of the discussion, it's, you know, the instrument of war is disabling doesn't mean that they won't come into existence with, let's say, plasma technology. So the more important aspect of it is the elevation of the soul of those who are engaged in making these weaponry that causes enormous harm. So elevation of soul of these engineers, scientists, and the company, and those who run these companies, it's a more important task in the sense that it is for the whole humanity. If when the soul gets elevated of these individuals, we as a whole become peaceful. It's not what we use, what instrument, nuclear, whatever. It doesn't matter. In the end, it's the manifestation of inner peace in a larger scale. Yes, there are people with inner peace now, and those people, many of them are asking for peace. But the important part here is to make it a collective peace. And perhaps the idea extends beyond, it's not perhaps, it does extend beyond the confine of this planet. And this is one of the things we have to keep in mind as we engage in various efforts, is to look at all the beings, including all of those human beings that are engaged in dismantling the peace to elevate their souls, wherever they are and in whatever form they are. They can be the person who is causing some difficulty in a local community. So it it exists at every level, and as individuals and as a collective entity, we can all ask for the elevation of the soul. So, and they will all come as we engage in this effort. Thank you.
Mosfeq, thank you for that. That was very timely and beautiful. Everybody that is present and listens and is listening is in these moments. This platform has been given for a normal person, what we classify as a normal person, a person, a soul present on this planet, but who just in their beliefs or in their understanding thinks they're just a normal person. This platform has been put here for us to actually have a voice, to actually be able to speak to a very, very large community across the planet. And it's been given to every soul on this planet, every person. It's a great honor and a privilege to be able to have such a platform to express peace and to express the beauty of the soul and the beauty of knowing the truth of what we really are within our environments, within our very being. It's incredibly important that people understand. Each and every one of you has the opportunity to stand up, speak your truth, and speak to aid and help humanity. You can be involved on a small level, on a local level, but speak on a very big platform that reaches presidents. So the man on the street can actually have a voice and speak, as long as you're of the right ethos and the understanding in a peaceful manner, and know some of the teachings of the foundation, then you have a voice that's incredibly powerful across this planet. It's also important to know that your thoughts and intentions as an individual are incredibly important. You can be peaceful at home in your environment that you're sitting in right now, and be at peace, and your thoughts and intentions can impregnate, and the fields can spread across the planet, across the universe, and into the unicos, because that's how important you are as a person, and that your thoughts, your plasma, your being, that's what you are. So this is what we are, the ethos of the Universal Council that was set up to communicate and be part of the universal community. Is to bring it forth, to be present. So please, if understand what's being given here. It's a very, very big, beautiful opportunity for mankind to step up, to be part of the process of an evolution of just becoming a beautiful, beautiful part of the creation that we already are, but we're just elevating even further as one soul. So as the one soul sits within you, it sits within all of us. We are all together as one. And it's as I said, it's going to be a most joyous, beautiful time for humanity, which is all of us, you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean. And I was inspired to show this picture, which had come through from Diane to some of the different social media. And it's very interesting, and it's kind of an example of putting something out. You've got this on your window, facing the street, and it's basically broadcasting out there. Now, if I can actually flip the view around here so we can read it better, and of course it looks like this. And I thought it's just, it would look like that from the outside of the window. I just flipped the picture around. So It's a beautifully made picture. I was wondering if Diane wanted to say something about it because she is present here today.
Just that I really want to thank Mr. Keshe and everybody for being here.
All right, thank you, Diane. I see you have some artistic talent, especially with the lettering is just, I'm just blown away by it. And the character is amazing as well. Is that your own character or is that something you found somewhere?
Yeah, I did years of window painting. I taught myself.
Ah,
Kind of
okay.
like it was inherent in me because I just did it. It was weird. And the characters kind of grew over the years on like how they looked. And I kind of got to a place where I can make the characters. They all look kind of like if they're short. And I don't know what all the characters. But it's just years of doing stuff. And I was trying to do coloring books, but they didn't really sell or kind.
Well,
I'm
just thinking of that, like a kid's introduction to plasma or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Think about a coloring book like that.
Well, yeah, like there's so many pictures running through my head. I'm also a kind of humorist and cartoonist.
Well,
running through my head, but
the Gans cup is beautiful. You see the coil there, the plates and everything, and it could be a great comic book type scenario.
Yeah, there's so many things like I'm gonna do my neighbors who's my ex, do his window, do a universal enhancement unit kind of thing, but that'll take time. I'm not fully healthy to do things right now, but I can do things, but I want to do coloring pages for the kids, and then the kids can, I think, putting them out through maybe the golden age of Gans. I don't know how to get them out there, but I'll start when I can. I'll get them done, and kids can color them.
Yeah, well, you can go through me or somebody else from the Keshe Foundation and try to, if you come up with some sort of a product or something that's a good storyboard with all the pictures and so on, that could probably be produced through the Keshe Foundation as a product and sold in the Keshe Foundation store, for example. So I was thinking that recently we don't have enough products for kids. This would be perfect.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for the extension of help because I need it. I'm kind of a loner, so.
Yeah. Well, think about ways to express the plasma technology through cartoon type scenarios, which are very explicit. Just seeing this image, I can't tell whether it's a male or female character really, but you can tell they love the Gans material. It's almost like an alcoholic picture or something, but we know that it's the 1 cup, 1 life and so on. It's even got it right underneath with a sticker from the Keshe Foundation. So it's perfect.
Thank you. I got lots to do and I got lots to learn.
Yes, we all do. We all do.
But yeah, I'll get in touch with you. Through Facebook, I know we're Facebook friends.
Yep, well, that's a good place. All right, let's go back to the previous programming once again here.
Very beautiful, this picture, by the way. Super beautiful. Thank you, Diana.
Okay, do we have any other comments or questions here? Or is the main part of the Universal Council presentation over? Could read some of the comments in the chat here. Julie says the window painting is so cute. Doug says what a beautiful window. Barbara says yes, very talented artist. Julie says she looks like a little gnome. I think she's talking about the picture, not the not you. As far as that goes. Julie then says, always nice to see more artists as a part of this group. And there we go. Okay, well, thank you, Diane, and thank you. Is there anything else from Universal Council? Should we wrap things up here now?
Rick, it's Dean here again. I'd just like to say quickly, if I can, anything that inspires yourself, that brings you into a place of balance and peace within yourself, within your community, and then extend it out to the whole family. Anything that brings you into that wonderful space, that space gap of creativity, whether it's music, whether it's photography, whether it's singing, dancing, being joyous in any way. When that feeling, that field strength that you feel from your heart, that then expands into your soul and makes your soul joyous. Anything that inspires you or other people, please bring it forward. It's that joy, it's that love of life, it's that vibrancy, that beautiful feeling. That's such a magical, wonderful place to be, and that's what we need. That's what humanity needs. And I think the time is present for everybody to be in this joyous place within yourself, and then, as I said, then extend it out to the family, your family, the global family, and the universal family that we are all a very big part of. So, as it says on the screen right now, thank you. I give freely from my soul to all souls in existence. Take what you need. The Universal Council. I am present.
Thank you, Dean. I note from Salamia in the chat here, Zoom chat, says, I'm writing a humanity poem for the peace of soul. I will share with you next week. How to heal the planet. Okay, if there's nothing else, then we'll wrap up today's show. I would like to say there is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group coming up starting at 7 a.m. Central European Time on Wednesday, November 11th, or that's the same as 10 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesday, November 10th, which is today. And people are welcome to bring in their replications of the Keshe plasma technology, or questions or comments or some interaction for that group. Or if you just like to observe, then let's do that as well. So thank you everyone for attending and participating in today's 143rd One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace for Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. Thank you so much to the Universal Council for their interaction, participation, and guidance through through these times. And we're so appreciative of that entity that can carry us through. And we look forward to many more adventures of the Universal Council. Thank you, Diane, for your excellent artwork, and thank you, everyone else.
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, Azar, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rika.
And Stefania. Let's not forget Stefania as well. And everyone else who contributes. A lot of work in the background these people do as well. It's not just a voice once a week. Okay, thank you, everyone. It's been great, and we'll see you next week at the same time and place as well for the 144th of this teaching. And of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up Thursday at 9 a.m. Central European Time, as usual. And all of the public broadcasts are on the same Zoom channel for those that are wondering of all the public English speaking broadcasts. Okay, I think that's it. Bye for now. See you next time.